With the conclusion of Week 10 of college football, storylines across the country continue to evolve. Statement wins, major upsets, and coaching changes were all defining themes of this week. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Brianna Langberg, joined by Erin Riley and Harlyn Peña. From number 10 Miami taking a tough 26-20 overtime loss to SMU, and number 9 Vanderbilt falling 34-31 against number 20 Texas, and Florida coming up short against number 5 Georgia in the first game since letting go of Billy Napier, there's plenty to break down tonight. All right, so kicking it off, we've had some huge upsets this week. Erin, what surprised you the most?
Well, you actually just talked about it. Number 10 Miami losing to unranked SMU at SMU. I was actually watching this game, and whenever, Miami got the ball going into overtime, I'm thinking, Miami has this game. This is Miami's game. And then Carson Beck does what Carson Beck does. Throws his second interception of the night, just short of the goal line. The game's over from there. And I really think what the downfall is of Miami right now is their trust and, communication in the locker room. Carson Beck, in his past 2 post-game press conferences, has just not been taking responsibility. Whether it's his fault or not, having respect for your staff, having respect for your teammates in your locker room, that's what really makes the connection on the field. And I think it's lacking that. He said that, his receivers were running the wrong routes and that he just tries to execute the play that's called. Obviously, that's not happening when you're throwing the second interception in overtime, losing the game. So I think that, really evaluating the trust and the connection in the locker room is really going to be the deciding factor whether Miami can pull off, a rest of the good season.
And I also want to talk about a upset from a Big Ten team against an unranked team. Georgia Tech lost to who? North Carolina State. North Carolina State came into this game 4-4 and put up 48 points against this Georgia Tech. They're now ranked 16th. I think it's a little generous given what it was, but this was an offensive game. Georgia Tech gave up almost 600 yards, and this North Carolina State offense was riddled with injuries. Duke Scott, who had to step in for their starter running back, had almost 200 yards, a career best against a top 10 defense. Make it make sense, and it just really confuses me. And Georgia Tech had almost 600 yards as well, but they couldn't capitalize on that red zone defense. They had to settle for 3 field goals and even missed a field goal attempt. And Georgia Tech could have been in that ACC championship and had a playoff berth. North Carolina State took that away in a single game. I was very shocked by this.
All right, so now talking about some of the top headlines. There are 12 open head coaching spots right now in college football. What is going on, and what teams can capitalize on this opportunity?
12. That is the biggest number I've heard in recent, when has there been 12? And they're big names. And I think it's a little scary though, because I think there's so many jobs open and not enough good people to fill them. And I can almost see maybe some of those smaller, not really well-known football programs maybe take a year off, see where everything goes, maybe hire in-house, upgrade an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator for an interim head coach, and see where everyone lands. And then next season, see what they have, see where they are, and call the big names. But I want to talk about James Franklin. You said Auburn. I think this is a perfect fit waiting to happen. We know James Franklin is a personable coach. When he got fired, a lot of recruits left because they were playing for him. Auburn has recruits. They go through the Auburn name, and I think if you add Coach Franklin to that, that would be a match made in heaven. He has proven, before Penn State, he was at Vanderbilt. He has proven he can win in the SEC. I think he's done. Take a break from the Big Ten. Go to the SEC. Prove what you can. And he knows about the NIL money. He knows about the transfer portal. He knows how to work all of that, and Auburn consistently has that, but they just need a coach to actually put it into effort. Penn State, we were a little nitpicky with 10-win seasons. We wanted to beat Ohio State. We won a national championship. Auburn hasn't had a winning season since 2020. They just want to win. And Franklin has proven he can win in the SEC. So I think this could be it.
Yeah, I want to talk about the NIL that you mentioned.
Absolutely.
I think that is completely changing college ball. And a lot of these older coaches need to, understand how to deal with the NIL world while still taking their ability to dominate in coaching college football in general. The 2 teams that I think that can really capitalize on, this coaching carousel that's completely changing right now is Florida and LSU. I think that they're both in the heart of the SEC. They're both such big name programs that Florida hasn't had a great coach since Urban Meyer. And that was in the 2000s. They've been on this up and down wave, and I think that really capitalizing on good, experienced, and knows how to deal with the NIL world type of head coaches is really going to, benefit both those teams.
All right, now switching gears a little bit. 4 undefeated teams: Ohio State, BYU, Texas A&M, and Indiana. Where do you see these teams going in the next couple of weeks? Do you see teams coming out of the regular season undefeated?
I want to talk about Indiana. I think that they're going to stay undefeated. They go against the last 3 games that they have are all unranked opponents. Even though it pains me to say it.
You don't think Penn State's going to do the upset this weekend?
No, I don't think so.
Not this week.
But all these other teams, I don't think that they have what it takes to pull off an upset against Indiana. And Fernando Mendoza is just Heisman potential, like, completely. He looks amazing. They look confident. One of the players, Kamara, he said that each week they try to eliminate doubt. And that is completely shown with what they're producing on the field. And I think that it's just really unstoppable this season. They're going to end 12-0. I want to also talk about Texas A&M. I think that Texas A&M is going to have one loss, and that's to Texas. It's the Lone Star Showdown game. And it's a rivalry game. Rivalry games are unpredictable. And honestly, I just think that Arch Manning against Vanderbilt, pulling that upset this past week, he looked a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident playing. And I think that if Texas keeps, this trend going, that they're going to be able to pull the upset against Texas A&M.
So let's talk about the other 2 teams undefeated. Ohio State, we have to talk about them. They went into that Penn State game, they adjusted at half, and Penn State was absolutely mute the whole second half. But so the only team I can see them even losing to is Michigan, the last team of the regular season. They play each other every single year, and it's always like, who's going to win? Ohio State has not won in 4 years, and you prove it. And Michigan last year pulled up the upset, went into the shoe, and Ohio State was ranked top 5. Michigan was unranked and pulled up the upset. This year, it's a little different. Ohio State ranked number 1. They're good on both sides of the ball. We understand that. Michigan is ranked 21, and their next 2 games are against unranked teams. I don't see them really falling at all. I can even see them getting into the top 20. And it's at the Big House. In Michigan is Ohio State's kryptonite. I think if anyone can beat this Ohio State team, pull up the upset, it's going to be Michigan. Julian's saying he is playing lights out. I think he is also a Heisman contender. He has 30 rushing yards the whole season. A lot of these Big Ten teams, quarterbacks feel like they have to make those big plays themselves if the receivers aren't in coverage. We've seen Drew Aller get hurt. We've seen Bo Prabula get hurt like that. It's like Julian can stay in the pocket and play catch with his 2 great wide receivers, and it's working, and that's what is a big national championship team. I think if they lose to Michigan, they'll still be in the Big Ten championship against Indiana. It's not going to really rattle them. But now let's go to BYU. BYU, this time next week, is not going to be undefeated. They play Texas Tech this Saturday, and then the next games are TCU, Cincinnati, and then end the season UCF. Texas Tech, it is number 8 BYU against number 9 Texas Tech. College Game Day is going to this. It is huge. Texas Tech is 10-point favorites heading into this, and I think they're going to pull up the upset. It's 1 ranking, but they have the best front 7 in all of college football, and I think BYU is going to get they're going to get their first loss.
Yeah, I agree with you with the BYU loss. I do think that Ohio State is going to win against Michigan, but I guess we'll see what's going to happen. In the chaos of this past week, with the race for college football playoffs is getting tighter and tighter, and only time will tell which teams finish strong and which ones fall short. Can Ohio State and Indiana continue undefeated, and which programs will see new additions to their coaching staff? That's all we have for Penn State Sports Night. For Erin Riley and Harlyn Peña, I'm Brianna Langberg. Have a great night.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.